everyone, welcome to Wicked West Books. Today I am filming episode 2 of Bookish Backgrounds. We're gonna see if we can get as opposite of Laurel K. Hamilton and Anita Blake as we possibly can. And today we're gonna be talking about Artemis Fowl and the author, to a lesser extent, Owen Colfer. So unlike with Laurel K. Hamilton, I don't have a whole lot of background information or just fun facts about Owen Colfer, but I do have a story about this particular version of Artemis Fowl. This very book was a present from my aunt when I was 11, 12. 12 is also the age of the main character in this book. And yeah, it's almost 20 years later and I still have it. And I'm never going to be getting rid of this one because it's fantastic. Another fun thing to know about this book series is that it does have this alphabet. I'm not sure how well that's focused there. But it does have this alphabet through the book, and it goes along the bottom of the pages. So you can see that there is a line of this alphabet. It is an actual alphabet. These lines across the bottom are an actual like little story, kind of just extra stuff that you can read. And it was this copy that I used. There is a portion of the story where the Gnomish alphabet gets translated into English. And that's how I actually learned the Gnomish alphabet, which I can still read. It is an alphabet that I still know to this day. And if you want a book series that will give you an alphabet that allows you to pass notes in a classroom where the substitute teacher is known for taking notes that they see you passing and reading it out loud to the class, if you're writing back and forth in this, all they can really say is, "That's pretty," and give the note back. So, true story. But yes, this is what started off my whole journey through this author's stuff, and I love, love, love this copy, and it's mine forever now. Thank you. In addition to that edition of Artemis Fowl, I also have this one. When they started redoing the covers, it's very pretty and I like it. I also have the one that they released for the movie, because this one is just a little bit different in that it still has the text along the bottom, however, the alphabet is different. It's a different alphabet to the one in the version that came before. And I wanted to learn it so that when I watched the movie I could read any hidden messages. I have not, however, learned this or watched the movie. I've only heard bad things about the movie, which is sad because the series is so good. But really fast, before I get too far into the Artemis Fowl novels, there's a couple other books that Owen Colfer has written that I have also read and also really enjoyed. One of those books is the Supernaturalist, which I'm trying not to be too shiny because it is, it's a shiny, shiny cover. This book made me cry when I first read it. And not a lot of books do that, so I want to draw attention to the Supernaturalist. It is also a middle grade book, but it's not as fun and adventurous as the Artemis Fowl books. It is, however, really weird and might make you question how you look at things. And the other one that I have that I've also read is The Airman by Owen Colfer, which does have a sticker on it, and I could peel the sticker off, but it is advertising an event in the UK, and since I'm American, it has uniqueness points added to it, I guess. I don't know. I'm not taking it off. This book is also quite a bit thicker than the Supernaturalist or the first couple of Artemis Fowl novels, and it involves breaking out of prison, but is still a middle grade book. I haven't read this one in a while, honestly. It might be about time for a reread. So when it comes to Artemis Fowl, like I said, this was a gift when I was about the same age as the protagonist, who is a 12-year-old mastermind criminal genius. That is what he is. He's 12 years old. His father was the head of a criminal empire and he's gone missing. However, Artemis is bound and determined to make his father proud and keep going with the family business. Something that Artemis has that his father did not, however, is still the childish belief that magic is real, because of course it is. So in this first book of the series, Artemis puts forth this very elaborate plan to rob the fairies of their gold. This starts off with having to kidnap one of the lower elements police, the LEP, recon units. LEP recon, yes. Her name is Holly, and the rest of it would be spoilers. Although I will say that you have this nice middle grade version of a police department run by a chief who gets very, very angry and turns colors. And they bring in some weird characters, such as Mulch Diggums, who you kind of have to read it to really get it. Then there's the Arctic incident, during which they go to the Arctic. More than that would be spoilers. My very old and loved copy of The Eternity Code is the next book. This one is easier if I read the back. Artemis Fowl is going straight as soon as he pulls off the most brilliant criminal feat of his career, at least that's the plan, when he attempts to sell his C-Cube, a supercomputer built from stolen fairy technology, to John Spiro, one of the most dangerous businessmen in the world, but Spiro springs a trap, stealing the C-Cube and mortally injuring Butler, who is of course Artemis Fowl's butler. Artemis's only hope of saving his loyal bodyguard is to employ fairy magic. So he must once again contact his old rival of the LEP Recon Fairy Police, and it's going to take a miracle to save Butler, and Artemis's luck may have just run out. When I initially read this, I skipped book 2 on accident, or I just couldn't get my hands on it and had to read more in the world, so technically this is the second Artemis Fowl book that I ever owned. Book 4 is the Opal Deception. I still need to buy that one. Book 5 is the Lost Colony. This was a fun one. And not all of them have this, but most of them do have that line of gnomish going across the bottom to tell just kind of a different story that goes along with what's in the book. Right after that, I believe, is the Time Paradox, which is again a very shiny book. This one's so pretty. Probably my favorite cover. The Atlantis Complex. This one is a hoot and a half. It is hilarious. It's like poor Artemis and poor Holly, and just wow. And the final book in the Artemis Fowl novels is The Last Guardian. This is a signed copy. I found it, I want to say Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Ooh. I just saw all of the covers for these. Those are pretty. Maybe I need to buy new ones. Maybe I need to buy more. There it is. There's the signature. I think I need to buy more of these. Honestly, I don't think I could have too many copies of the Artemis Fowl novels. I really don't. It's one of the ones that I just like to keep collecting. Not to mention, wherever you decide to fit it in, there is extra stuff. This is the Artemis Fowl Files novel. It's got a crossword and a word search that I have filled out in pen, because that's what you do when you're in middle school and are being as nerdy about one of your favorite book series at the time as you possibly can. Ahaha, that's what I was looking for. If you don't want to do like me and look at the pages that are translated from the Fairy Guidebook in the Artemis Fowl books, the Fowl Files has this nice lovely printout of the full alphabet. You can, of course, also find that online. And, of course, it's got its own little story completely written in it for you to practice translating. I also really do recommend writing notes to your friends in the same alphabet. It's a good time. Now, the way that series ends is on it's a really good note for the series. It makes me very sad that there's not going to be any more Artemis Fowl novels, because I have loved him for a very long time. I grew up with him a very long time. However, that's not where the stories in the world end, because there are books about the Fowl brothers, the twins. Artemis Fowl, throughout the series, will end up getting a set of twin brothers. And they have their own stories, which sadly does not include gnomish along the bottom, which I think is a travesty. But one of the brothers is very much like Artemis, and one of them is the opposite. And I know that this is going to be good when I get into it. I miss Big Brother Artemis as the main character. I'm sure he shows up in here, as do all the other favorite characters from the rest of the series. And there is more than one book in this series so far, and to my knowledge, it is still ongoing. So once you are done with the viewpoint of Big Brother, little brothers are there to take over. I think this episode is shorter than the last one, but honestly, it's just... Artemis Fowl has a special place in my heart and always will, and I am very grateful to my aunt for sending me this book because I think it really shaped a lot of my reading choices going along and with all of the other things that I get into. And if any of you want a middle grade novel with a criminal mastermind for a main character, you want some morally gray, here it is, in middle grade form. I love Artemis. I really do. And also, you know, adding to it, these books are just fun. They are a whole lot of fun. They don't take themselves too seriously, but all the characters are still very competent in what they do, and there's not much more I can say about them. You should go read them. They're really good, and they start off really short. So it's not even like it's a big old time dump like the 30 books in the Anita Blake series. They are phenomenal. Slightly shorter video, but that I adore. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you have read Artemis Fowl, please let me know below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. I will continue along this journey of giving you information about all of the books that I have previously read in the next episode. Have a wicked day.